Hi there, this is K4A, Knowledge for All Educational Videos channel. We are continuing with Scratch tutorials, we are continuing with learning Scratch blocks, and in this video we are going to learn how and when to use Scratch block which is named if then else, which means if condition 1 is true, then do this, else if it's not true, do something else. Okay, let's go to Scratch to see it in action. In last video we have explored one of the operators, block not block, which was making some of our sensing statements touching color opposite. It in specific we used it to express and to ask Scratch question, what we told Scratch what to do if the cat is not touching the green color. And then we explained how that block could be tricky, and how when you start to make more complex games and when you start to add more and more conditions and questions to the Scratch, when you start asking Scratch more questions like if this is true, do this, if that is true, do that, if this is not true, do this, and so on, then you have to be aware of some of the things which are order in which you put your blocks. We have said that Scratch is reading from top to bottom, so if you put these three blocks like this, it's not the same as if you have put them like this. So all of that will come with practice and more games and apps you make, but you can use pen and paper to write these conditions down in English as sentences if that's easier for you. When I make more complex games I always do that or if I face some problem and so on. And in this video we are going to learn new block which says if then else. It is fifth from the top. It's one of the control blocks, orange ones, so you click and drag and drop it to your coding window. I selected the cat, so we are continuing developing the cat character. I'm going to detach this if, not if, and so on, and I will put this new block next to it to explain how it works. Okay, so I will also detach this lava if touching lava block, and now I have two blocks here. If touching green color, then do this, and if not touching green color, do that. So we have two questions, we have two conditions. First one says if something is true, do this, and the second one says if it's not true, do the opposite. This new block which we have drag and dropped now is very similar to this if then block. It only has one more action in it, this else, and whole idea with this else condition is that condition is replicating this, we can say this, it's replicating this negation not. So in short, you will use this if then else block to when you will use it when you want to see if the first block is true, then do this first action, and if it's not true, then do this second action. So you are examining two conditions. You are evaluating two conditions, and you are giving Scratch orders to do two kind of actions. First, if the condition is true, and the second, if it's not true. To see it in action, we will use the same example like in the last video. So I'm going to copy this touching color, green color, and I'm going to ask Scratch if the cat is touching the green color, then I'm going to duplicate this ouch acid run, put it here into first hole, and if it's not true, I'm going to duplicate this just to put it here so you can see it clearly, and then duplicate this, say, and put it here. So I'm going to zoom out here a little bit one more time and to see it better like this. And so the blocks which we have made in previous videos, two blocks, if touching color and if not touching color, they are doing exactly the same thing as this new block if then else, only this if then else is one block. I mean, it has two holes, but it's one block. It looks more elegant, more simple, and you can choose yourself when and how to pick it. If you're going, you can use this one in the same manner as this one. They should have the same effect. We will test it now, but it's your choice when to use it. If you feel more relaxed and simpler to do it this way, to ask a couple of if and if not blocks and questions to Scratch, and then react to that, then do it that way. If you think this is easier, then do it this way. That's your choice. You're free to pick. But again, this if then else is doing what? If then else is first asking if the first condition, which is in our case touching color, is true, then do this, and then if not, but we have not, we don't have this not touching color here written, but it this if else does it automatically. Why? Because this this word else is same as this blocks not touching. Why? Because we have asked here above if the cat is touching the green color, then do this, and then below we said else. That else means anything opposite of touching color, anything opposite of first condition, of first question. So if you're not touching the color green, then say empty text. So you don't have to put this not here because this else is already replicating it. Okay, I'm now going to drag and drop into our when green flag clicked forever block, like we had before with if and if not, and I'm going to test it. So if the cat is touching the green color, say acid run, and if not, say empty text, sorry, and that is working as intended. Great. So this one is working, and what can I do else here? I can just add this if touching green color la below it, because it's new condition, and it should work. Yeah, it works. Great. So these two blocks here, we have swapped them for one if else block. So these two blocks here, if and if not, are same as this if then else. It's yours to pick the one you want. And I will just attach this one with lava. And what else can be said about this if else, if then else? Well, for example, you can this is why Scratch is not very good for more complex games. I mean, they can be done, but in general visual programming languages like Scratch and similar, they are not for very good for very complex games, because even it would be harder for you as a starter to learn some programming language in like, I don't know, C# or Python or any kind JavaScript or anything like that, where you have to type your commands down. That would be for you harder for start, but on the long term you would feel better that way, and you would learn much more new and more complex things, and you would work easier on the long run. Why? Because this for example, this if then else, this command, this block is also exists in every other programming language like C# and Python, and I think and so on, JavaScript. But the nice thing is when we did is when you type it in as text in text editor, not in visual editor like Scratch, you can just add new conditions here with just typing else do this, else do this, else do this, and so on. You can literally add 5 or 10 or as many as you want other conditions, and that would be all typed down one below the other. And in Scratch, for example, maybe I'm wrong, don't get me wrong if I'm wrong, but I will check that out while I'm learning the Scratch also with you. But as much as I can see now, there is no adding more else commands like just else, but you have to drag and drop new if then else, and then put it inside, then new inside, then new inside. So for example, if I have 5 or 10 different conditions like this or so on, it would really look messy and complex, and you would lose your mind to see, oh, what have I done here, what is checking here. You can get in trouble very fast, and lose your mind very fast with it. So for some of those things, you actually and more complex things, you actually are better to learn some classical programming typed language. We will do that also in our tutorials, but Scratch is good for simple games, and I think we can even find some workaround for this technique. We will see that in next videos, but also don't I hope you won't be afraid and you won't be angry if you see me doing this, like copying and duplicating and putting if else one into each other. And I know it looks ugly, but sometimes you will have to do it. That's it for this video. I think I will continue maybe with 4 or 5 Scratch videos next also, but maybe I will turn into Roblox tutorials too. I have also some ideas for it, and I'm also learning Roblox myself for testing purposes and prototypes for some of my games. So maybe Roblox is next. If not, then we are continuing with Scratch as always. That's it for this video, and I hope I will see you in the next videos. Until then, try this if else block, if then else block with some other conditions and other questions you would like to ask Scratch, and combine it with this touching color, combine it with not operator and so on. And that's it for this video, and see you soon. Bye.